another episode of Tina Renee's Dollhouse. I am your host, Tina Renee. Today we're going to be dealing with a bit of a heartfelt subject, okay? We're going to be talking to a gentleman who has not been able to see his son in over 5 years. Help me welcome Todd Tate. Welcome to the Dollhouse, Todd.
Thanks, Tina.
Okay, now we're going to go ahead and jump right into things. Todd, why don't you go ahead and give us a little background first on you obviously were married at some point, had a child, and what happened from there?
I got married. My son was already born when I got married, so we married here in California. She was from Mississippi, of course.
From Mississippi?
Yes.
Okay.
And we moved back to Mississippi, and once we got there, things started falling apart.
The marriage?
Yes.
Okay. How long were you together?
We were together about 8 years.
How long did you know her before you married her?
About 7 years.
So you knew her for about 7 years, and then you get married after 7 years.
Yeah.
How long after knowing her did you have a child with her?
About 2 years.
So you knew her for 2 years, had a child. Another 7 years passed. You get married.
Yeah.
You moved to California.
No, we moved to California, got married here.
Okay, so you moved to California. You were married here, and then you transitioned back to Mississippi.
Yeah.
And what happened from there?
We got things started falling apart for our reasons, infidelities, things like that.
You said infidelity?
Yeah.
Okay, infidelity on her part?
On
Okay.
her part.
Okay.
And, I had no family there, none of that. So once things fell apart, we had a house, and it's hard out there. They don't pay very much, so to be on your own and try to hold down a house by yourself is next to impossible.
Okay.
So I had to come back where I could get my support to California.
When you say support, what kind of support was in California?
Just, family, people who could help me, better jobs, my family, they always there to support me, words of comfort, and it was hard to get that 1,700 miles away.
So now, but how difficult was it making the decision to leave because how old is your...
He's 9 now.
He's 9 now, but when you made the decision to leave, how old was he?
It was a month before his 5th birthday.
A month, so he's 5, so he's basically 5 years old.
Yeah.
How difficult was it for you were the circumstances just so, I guess...
Yeah, it was actually nothing. She was following false restraining orders and just making things really hard for me. And while I was there, she would bring my son over to a person's house and let me see him and this and that. And she also told me we had to talk. She said she would never try to keep him away from me.
Okay.
This and that. But once I got back to California, it was a totally different story. She barely calls. When I call, sometimes she won't answer her phone. I don't know what size clothes, shoes my son wears. I don't know his favorite color.
So now you're in a situation where you've moved back to California because she's led you to believe she's going to allow you to have a relationship with your son. Now, had she told you that was not going to be the case, do you think you still would have left?
It depends on how bad things would have gotten, but I didn't want to leave. It was really hard for me to leave, and because it's my only child and it's my firstborn, he has my name, and it was really hard for me to leave.
Difficult decision to make. So now you're back here in California, and you're calling, trying to check on your son, and she's not answering phone calls. She's not returning phone calls.
Yeah.
She's just kind of stopping all communication with you.
Yeah, and won't send as much as a picture. As a picture to me.
Okay, now do you even get to speak to her? Is there no relatives out that way that you are able to communicate just to check on your son? I know you probably had friends back that way.
Yeah, the only things I find out from my friends is what they see here and there, or how's he doing? He was good the last time I seen him, things like that. But it's really,
it does nothing for you.
Yeah, it does nothing for me, and it really hurts when I call there and my son, and I do talk to him. He asks, when can I come to your house? And I've been telling him this for 5 years now that I'm working on it, and I don't know what else to tell him when I talk to him. That's why it's so hard for me to pick up the phone and call him, because I don't know. It's been so long since I've seen him. I don't know when I'm going to see him, and it hurts him because I was there from day one, through his birth, I went to all doctor's appointments. Most of the time, it was me taking them. You know, even the nurses at the doctor's office, they were surprised by it. You know, the father's always bringing them in. It's unusual. We usually see the mother doing this type of stuff.
And if I'm not mistaken, you actually won an award.
I did.
Tell us about
I
that.
did. When my son, his first year of school, when he first started, I was at the school every day donating books, helping out with the boys' side of the class. You know, they say grace and everything out there. Teach them how to hold their hands, place their napkins, all types of stuff. And they actually called me at work, and I had to leave work early that day to go pick up an award, Father of the Month.
Father of the Month. That's
Parent
beautiful.
of the Month award.
Parent of the Month.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
And I'm proud of that award.
You should be. That's not too many fathers get involved. It's generally the mother at the PTA. So to have a father in and hands-on, that's great. Now, let me ask you this. So you obviously are having some sort of communication, a little bit, if she's allowing you.
Yes, every now and then. Yeah.
Every now and then. So are you talking to her? Are you saying, hey,
Yes.
what is her
I am.
reasoning for this?
I mean, I'm talking to her. I'm practically begging every time I talk to her. Every time I'm practically begging, and it's for some reason I'll ask why. Can I see him? Can I come get him for at least for the summer, 3 months out of each year? And she'll say no, and I'll ask why, and she just shuts down. Won't give an answer, nothing. And it's just I don't understand it. You know, it's stupidity to me. You know, she's just being stupid if you ask me, and you know because it's I just don't know what to say. I don't know why she's doing it. Like I said, we had a talk. She said she would never do this. As much if I wanted to see him, she would let me. And it's it's not she won't. You know, she's not honoring what she said.
So now your son still remembers you, obviously.
Oh, yes.
He still
Yes.
remembers you.
Yes, he still even cries sometimes when he's on the phone with me, and he just wants to see me.
Now, why can't you go out that way to see him? Is there some sort of
Well, because it costs money to go out there,
Right.
and
right?
I have a part-time job, and if I go out there, I do have to work. So my option is to go out there and spend maybe 3 or 4 days and come right back. I mean, that's no time to spend with my son after 5 straight years of being with him.
Right.
And and
So you think it would cause more hurt
It
than
would.
more damage
It
than
would.
any type of?
it would.
Okay. Okay. Now you've actually involved a lawyer,
It's
But-
actually a paralegal.
a paralegal.
Yeah.
What's going on with that? Because to my understanding, it's been some years ago.
It has.
Whatever became of anything of that?
Well, she worked. It took about 3 years for me to even see any progress with her, because she said it's not her job to do it. She's a paralegal, and
What did you pay her for
I
then?
paid her just basically what I'm finding out now. I paid her for paperwork, get all of the paperwork, send it to the courts, and get a court date. But when I did get a court date, but the court date that I had on my paperwork, it was the wrong date. It was the right date, but the wrong time.
And that was on the paralegal's part?
It
It
was.
was an error on their part?
I actually got it from the courthouse when I went to one court session.
So the courthouse made the mistake?
Yes, and I called them. I called my paralegal first. It was the right date, wrong time.
Okay.
And I called my paralegal first, and she's telling me I paid her $1,000. She's telling me I have to pay another $1,000 to start the process over again, which I don't have.
Right.
You know, and the courts, they're telling me that I don't know if I have to pay them anything or not, but I would still have to start it all over again. And it took 3 years the first time. It's really hard, you know, and
Do you ever get discouraged and feel like giving up?
Yes, all the time. All the time. I get discouraged, and it's just the thought of my son. I look at his pictures that I have from, before all of this happened, and I just, I'm going to go back to the court to see what I can do, but I need to find something where I don't have to put out that type of money,
Right.
because when I did get the money, I borrowed $500 of it. And I still owe that money because I had a good job, got laid off, and now I'm working a part-time job.
Yeah.
And it's not nearly enough money, to pay bills, try to pay for a lawyer, and all, it's just.
Absolutely. Now, when is the last time you had the opportunity to speak with your son?
Oh, it's been a couple of months, maybe 2 or 3 months.
A couple of months. Now, he just had a birthday that passed.
In June.
And you were able to send him some items?
Yes.
Did you confirm that?
Yes.
So she did,
Yeah.
your ex-wife did let you know?
Yeah, I called.
So she's been somewhat of cooperative, I guess we could say, right? Very little.
Yeah, very little. She'll give him anything I send to him, but she won't let me see my son. I
you
need a substantial amount of time with my son, you know, just to pick up on things, just to know. Like I said, I don't know his favorite colors. I don't know his cartoons he like. This is stuff I knew before I left. Stuff that she didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I still have the hair from my son's first haircut. Have his shoes from his first pair of shoes. I mean, I love my son, and you know, and that's what I want. I just need my son.
So now, your mother plays a very significant role.
Yeah, she does. She won't let me give up on his court cases, and she's always riding me, and always. And in fact, she's probably the only reason that I'm still trying, you know, legally. You know, it's my mom. She's probably the only reason.
Okay. Now, there are fathers all over the world going through this, and it's really just, it hurts your heart to hear a story. My theory on this is there's so many fathers who do not want to be involved in their children's life, till when you find one like Todd who does, you think, why would a mother not want that father to be in that child's life? Todd, if you had to give any type of advice to a father out there just like you, who's working maybe part-time, maybe not even working at all. It's very hard, especially with the way the economy, the recession, we know that it's hard. Working that part-time job, barely making ends meet, but you have a situation where the only way you're really going to get some help is with an attorney, but you don't have the monies to pay. What advice would you give that individual? Maybe a source of encouragement to keep in there and keep fighting.
I would say that, you know, if you're in my situation, you know, if you had the chance, you know, to go see your child, anything, a substantial amount of time, you know, take that opportunity, you know, just to see him, because I know it would help and hurt my son to see me for a brief time like that. You know, he probably would light up when he see me, would break down when I left.
Yeah.
And I would just say, just keep at it, you know, just don't give up. Whenever you talk to him, I write my son letters and everything, which I doubt his mother maybe or may not be reading to him or whatever. Just try as much as you can, keep in contact with him, don't give up on it, and try to get some custody of him, because a son needs his father, not just his mother. He needs his father.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, what I want to take time out to do at this moment is, we know you mentioned that attorney fees and things like that, it's just too much money. And if you've ever had any dealings with an attorney, you know that it can get really, really pricey. I want to give you this opportunity to maybe give out an email address, a Facebook account, any type of social networking source where maybe there might be an attorney out there, or a paralegal, or someone that can provide some sort of help or some sort of aid, or maybe even give you a lead to someone or some sort of an agency that can help you. So I think it would be great if you gave out a link to you, and if anybody out there has any information on how Todd here can get additional help or assistance, that would be great.
Okay, if anybody needs to reach me, any help will be appreciated. You can reach me on Facebook at Todd Nitty, NITTI 76 at yahoo.com.
So now that's TODD
Yes.
NITTI 76 at yahoo.com.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Yeah, so if anyone out there has any, maybe you don't necessarily have the help yourself, but you know someone else that does, it'll be greatly appreciated.
Yes.
Todd,
anything, any advice, anything.
Any advice, maybe, if you have any advice for him as well, that would be great. And it's been a pleasure having you on.
It's been a pleasure being here.
I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your story with us. It's not always easy to talk about these types of things, but you did share with us, and hopefully we will be able to get some help for you. It's always a pleasure with you as well. Thank you for tuning in. IVChannel.tv. We'll see you next week.